Bonsoir, bonsoir à tout le monde et bonjour. Alors que vous allez recevoir ce message ou ce vidéo, vous êtes sur le channel de Basumba Production. Nous voilà encore aujourd'hui pour venir dénoncer ce qui se passe dans notre pays, le Congo Brazzaville. Le message d'aujourd'hui, ça va être beaucoup en anglais. Parce que je commence maintenant à détester de parler en français. À cause de ce que la France est en train de faire dans notre continent de l'Afrique centrale. Voilà, c'est un peu mes raisons. Bonsoir mes frères du combat. Bonsoir mes frères de la résistance contre le pouvoir de Brazzaville. I came today to ask so many questions about the UN and its work and what it's standing for. Because of the crime that is going on in Congo Brazzaville and the involvement of the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, of what is doing around Africa. So our question is the children of Africa, what Rwanda really want? Does Rwanda want peace in Africa, or Rwanda with his president Paul Kagame, who think is unbeatable in Africa, who think is his army is one of the best who can recolonize other African country to try and invade some of his neighboring country to try and take some land. We don't know. So my question is to the Rwandan citizen, because sometimes we as citizen, we are not aware of what our politicians are really doing with their power into the country. But the message to the Rwandan people is to announce them that is your president Paul Kagame is really, really busy disturbing the peace in Africa. Really, that really we have to mention it, because Paul Kagame started with Congo DRC to try and invade some of their bordering side to steal the land to the people of Congo DRC, meaning Kinshasa. As we, the people of Congo Brazzaville, we've been watching very closer the move of your president Paul Kagame. And I think this message, I think it should reach all Rwandan citizens to know as Paul Kagame is really going to leave you with a lot of trouble around Africa. Because you know what? We, the Congolese of Brazzaville, we do speak the same languages with the Congolese of Kinshasa. We are brother and sister. We share the same king, the same culture, the same language, ethnical language are similar. So we just want to warn you is to watch up the move of your president Paul Kagame, because this message is really, really important as the children of Africa, as if we really need the peace in our continent. I think each country should really watch after his population and his land, and to avoid bringing trouble to their neighboring country. Because I think the trouble Rwanda is looking for, the Rwandan citizen going to pay it very pricely, because this is about land. And if we want to unite Africa, meaning trading business together, we should respect each other's border and corner of the land. Because the way Paul Kagame is taking this move, I think his advisors are really lying to him, because they're going to put his life in danger. I don't think Rwanda can survive two countries to fight them up. Even if you have so much ammunition, just like what it's really happening in Russia, I don't think you will survive that. We, as the people of Congo, Brazzaville, and the people of DRC, we are proper guerrillas. And this is a warning time to Paul Kagame to take his hand off from the two Congo, because now he's moving now to Congo Brazzaville to come and get land of agriculture. At the same time, Paul Kagame, you know it very well, is in Congo Brazzaville. We don't really have a peace going on there. We've been fighting in our country. We had tribal war that did happen there in our country, just like what you did in your country when you were slaughtering the Rwandese citizens so that you can take the power where you are seated, where you don't want to move, where you don't want to see another Rwandese to rule the country. You want to be there for eternity. That is what you, as the leaders in Africa, you are trying to be doing. Once they vote you, you want to stay forever. You don't want to see another citizen to take over after your three-time mandate. We don't mind about the politics that is going on in your country. Good for you if you are building Rwanda. Good for you if your citizen they are comfortable with the way you are ruling your country. But please, Paul Kagame, we, the children of Congo, we are warning you to take your hand off from our country. And this is serious, because I don't think you will survive if a clash of a war happened between our both country, the two Congo, fighting your country. I don't think you will survive. You won't even make it. Even if you have so much ammunition, you won't make it, because remember, your country is a very small country. You don't have enough land to hide yourself. And please don't look for trouble where there is no trouble. If you don't have enough land, please make a policy of not making so much children in your country. than coming to other country of your neighboring to look for trouble where there is no trouble. And this also to the UN. That's why we see people in Goma, they are chasing the soldier of the UN out of Congo DRC because we don't see the job that you are doing. Even those who are in the office of the UN, we don't see the job that you are doing of peacekeeping around the world. We're still seeing dictators, leaders coming into the meeting of UN. Why are you still receiving Paul Kagame when people been talking about is a genocide man? He did slaughter so many people in his country to get the power, and he been seated in power for so long. Why are you still receiving people like Denis Sassou Nguesso who been in power for 40 years? 40 years. Mr. The President Ban Ki-moon left of UN. Mr. Kofi Annan, he left. This guy is still in power. It doesn't say something to you guys. When you sit there, when you look at those faces there, you don't recognize that this face been there for so long. Why are we still receiving this person as a leader of his country? He doesn't have a political party. There is no change in his political. Why there is no change in his political party? That shows already as there is a dictatorship even in the political party. Because why we did say as people like I'm sorry about their name now is to come into the picture. Uh, the late Saddam Hussein, for example, the late Muammar Gaddafi, for example, why they been calling them dictators? Because the UN knew it, they've been in power for so long. But why you don't recognize the people like Paul Biya, for example? Paul Biya is almost 90 something years old. He's an old man. He's been there for almost 40 years in power in Cameroon. Why are you still receiving those kind of people in the UN charter meeting? Why? That is a question also we have to ask ourselves because we can see all of you kind of corrupt with these corrupt leaders. People been talking about the late President Robert Mugabe. He was a dictator, but Mr. Robert Mugabe came in 1981. But this guy, Sassou Nguesso, he been there since 1979 in power. Nobody is asking him a question. He came here in London undercover into the invitation of the French government. We don't know why the French government have to do that. The French government have been always behind this man so that they can slaughter the people of Congo Brazzaville to get a cheap petrol from this crazy mental health person, president, so called. This man is ruling the country with his children and his brothers and sisters. The whole UN seat, they know about it. And nobody is saying a word. That is, Congo Brazzaville is under a dictatorship of this Mr. Sassou Nguesso. I thanks uh, uh, the government of the UK for not inviting them, these people, to our late Queen Elizabeth II. I was so proud to see them humiliated front of the bus. This man came, Sassou Nguesso, he came, the president, so-called a president of Congo Brazzaville. He came with his grandson, who's the son of the late president of Gabon, to come and introduce this young man into the leader of the world, because they are trying to overthrow Ali Bongo in power so that his grandson can take over in Gabon, just like the way he did make their mom to get married to this man, and this man was older than his. That is their love affair. Is we don't have to be how can I call it, involved into their love affair, but we know why he took his daughter to marry the president of Gabon, the late president of Gabon, so that he can protect his presidential seat, because we are neighboring with Gabon. And this thing been going on for so long in our country. These people, they are getting making their daughter to marry the people outside our country so that they can secure the money that they are stealing in the country. How can you how can you take it as a president of a country where his citizen, they survive, 90% of his citizens, they survive a day with $1. But this president, he own a bank overseas in France. And the French government, they know about it. And this is the problem where we see the French government being chased in Africa because of the corruption that they're doing around Africa. And the UN, they know about it. And nobody is taking France in accountant of their wrongdoing in Africa. France government been participating on the killing of the African people by their government. For example, in my country, we had a war that was supported by the French government and their company of petroleum, who give this man, Sassou Nguesso, the guns to come and overthrow a leader that was elected democratically in the country. And that war have destroyed our togetherness living in the country. The French government, they know about it. And this man, Sassou Nguesso, he been putting all the most of the opposition leader in prison. Some of them, they're still in prison. One was just released not long ago by the UK government, Makaya. Is here, he live here in the UK. Most of us, we can't go back to Congo because of what we're doing online to wake up the heart of people, to wake up our citizens who were divided by this regime in dictator. Right now, he's trying to put his son in the name of Christelle Denis Sassou Nguesso into power to replace him. His cousin Dominique Okemba owns also company in France. Like for example, a bank, a bank named BGF Bank Congo is based in France. 90% of this bank is owned by Sassou Nguesso, the president of Congo Brazzaville in France. And the French government, they know it very well. We have our president of activists in France there in the name of Roland Levinitou, who've been working so hard searching those companies that are owned by these people. I got image here right now. That is the company that were found not long ago. Like for example, here he's talking about Jean-Dominique Okemba, is a family of the president. Okemba se frotte les mains. BGFI Banque Congo partage 5 milliards de dividendes à ses actionnaires. Le document est là. There are the documents. Ça est là. Le nom de Jean-Dominique Okemba est là. Just a minute, I have a kid that went outside. I'm coming, I'm going to open for them. Just a minute. Yeah, I'm sorry for stopping the live. Just like what we hear here. Est suspecté d'avoir détourné des millions de dollars de la Société nationale des pétroles du Congo, SNPC, dont il était le directeur général adjoint. The son of the president who stole millions of dollars of the company of petroleum of our country. Puis verser vers des comptes bancaires en Floride. Ce que je venais de vous dire, que sa villa de Miami avait été achetée par de l'argent dont il avait versé au niveau de la BGFI Bank. Donc la BGFI Bank avait joué un rôle énorme. Un rôle énorme. Peuple congolais, voilà vous-même. So actually what these people they do is these people, what they do when they steal money in the country, what they do, they transfer the money from this bank called BGF, Bank of Congo, that is owned by himself, the president of the country. Just imagine, let's take it for example, Mrs. Trust owning a bank. When the people of UK, they survive with $1 a day. No infrastructure, no train, poor road, no water, no tap water in people's home, no electricity. When electricity come, like for example, they will give in this area 2 days. After 3 days, they give to another area, this side going to be in the dark. But these people, they are talking about a billion that are looted in the country. What they do, they put it in this account. These people are mafia people. They put it in this account, this bank that are owned by himself, the president of the country. That is the way to clean up the money that they are stealing in the country. Send it to this bank. When it comes to this bank have also a branch In Gabon, the big seat is in France. So they don't need to carry money again like before. So what they do, they just transfer money. There was one of them uh, last week. They give money to one of the politicians of Gabon who was arrested with 1,180,000,000 of CFA. That we're talking about 1 million euro in cash in a suitcase in the 4x4 in the border. Imagine how can you carry 1 million in the car, put cash in the suitcase, and then he was arrested with from one police guy in the border. It was filming. It's on media, social media. Everybody can see it. So actually, this money was also to put in this bank so that the guy can travel to collect the cash in France. What these people have done, most of the people that are looking after their asset are foreign citizens. They are not Congolese people. So when they steal the money of the country, they put in this account. The French government, they know about it. And they know a president of a country don't really have a right to own a bank of its own. When he's in his own country, he doesn't even own that bank. And nobody knew this man owned this bank. And Emmanuel Macron, who is the president of France, he know about it. And this is the issue, the same problem that is the people of Mali. They are fighting the French government and they don't want them anymore in their country because of their link of a mafia business with the African politician. And we're calling to the European Union to call France government in order, because today if there is a black African in Europe seeking for asylum seeker or refugee, is because of France, because of the involvement of France, the killing of leaders in Africa, the war in Africa is France. And I know the European leaders, they know about it. It was even mentioned 2 years ago by the first minister of Italia, Mr. Di Mario. He did say it. And as the African people, we're still waiting for the European Union to say something to France. We're waiting to hear something from the European Union. That's why you see some of us here. That doesn't say all of us are stupid. We're not stupid. Many of us went to school. We study. We have careers. But we can't just go back home because of those people that are there. And because of the work that we've been sacrificed ourselves to talk about the truth of the stealing of the money that they are looting. These people, they are buying a mansion home here that even the Prime Minister of the UK can't afford to buy. And nobody is asking these leaders, how did they get this money and why he doesn't have this in his own home country? Nobody is asking for that question. And we never see, we as the youth of Africa, we never see none of one leader in Europe owning a mansion home in one of the African countries. And this is also is a big question mark in our brain. Why only African leaders who always come in Europe to buy mansion home and their children, and why they own big account money than in their own country? It's a question. It's a question. Because if you are not a thief, if you never steal a money in your country, in your own country, you can't take the whole package of your money and come and save in another country. It doesn't make sense of a leader of a country when you know that very well the bank of your countries have to generate money. It doesn't make no sense. And then at the same time, the French people are talking about France Afrique, France Afrique, France Afrique. We don't have problem with the citizen of France. Many of us are married with the citizen of France. But at the same time, we, the youth of diaspora living in Europe, when we look at the French citizen as well, and we think they are not helping us, they are happy with what is going on with their government looting other people's country. And then when they see us coming here, we become like beggars. Many of us are not beggars. Many of us, we own lands in our own country. We own lands. Some of us also are prince. In our country, land are not belong to a government. Land that belong to certain family. I'm sorry about the loss of Mr. Boris Johnson in his power. Sir, you were wrong. You were wrong, Mr. Boris Johnson, for saying as refugees or asylum seekers living in UK to leave the UK to go to a genocide country like Rwanda, when you know that very well. This leader of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, he have committed crime in his country. Did you forget it about the crime of the Tutsi and the Hutu by Paul Kagame? Did the government of UK blind their eye to Paul Kagame about the crime he did? I think our king, when he was a prince, King Charles, he went there. He saw what did happen in Rwanda. The head of the people chopped down. Those are even some of the head that they see. But people don't know about those who disappear without a body. We have people, leaders in Africa who are mentally ill by the power. Some of them, Mr. Boris Johnson, sir, with all the respect, they've been there even before Mr. Tony Blair. But look at the stage that UK change leaders. Some of them, they've been there even before Mrs. Margaret Thatcher, like this guy, Denis Sassou Nguesso, who was at our queen, our late queen funeral. This man been in power since 1979. So let me ask you, Mr. Boris Johnson, in 1979, what job you were doing? I think you were still at school, very young, innocent, but this guy is still in power. You even left the office. This man is still in power. Ask, ask, ask your colleague, Mr. Macron, Emmanuel Macron. I'm older than him in age, but ask him in 1979 what age he was. Ask him what he was doing in 1979. I don't think Mr. President Emmanuel Macron was able to even to speak for himself, even to do something for himself. Where are we taking this world if we can't see the righteousness? Where are we taking this world? That is my question. I see people receiving Paul Kagame with all the respect. This kind of people, they don't have no respect to give them. I see people greeting Sassou Nguesso like he was a correct human being. These people don't have to shake their hand to people who have blood in their hands. Mr. Sassou Nguesso in the war of Congo Brazzaville did lock people from the age of 60 to 17 in container. 3 container of human being locked inside were thrown in the Congo River. The UN know about it. They still the investigation. What this man is doing is killing all the evidence while he's still alive. This man was supposed to be in the criminal court of justice, just like what the world is planning to do to Mr. Putin. But this man is freely traveling. He goes to France anytime he wants with his children. Emmanuel Macron still receiving this criminal in his country. Free traveling. Because what they are gaining money under this man. We, the African, most of us have lost respect to the justice system of France because of their corruption in Africa. They know all those criminals. They know what those criminals own in their country. They are big taxpayer in their country, and that's why they don't want to arrest them. And we are seeking to the International Court of Justice to do his job, to do the international arrestation mandate to this guy, Paul Kagame, and Mr. Sassou Nguesso to be arrested anytime from now. They don't need to be walking free. In 1997, I was as a refugee in South Africa. I lost my firstborn son in that war. He was innocent. So just calculate from 1997 to now, how old will be that boy? He never get his justice until today. And this man is walking freely. This man was lucky as his name was not mentioned into our TV, BBC, to mention the name of leaders of Africa who are supposed to be here. If I knew that, I was supposed to be arrested here in London because of this man. It's just lucky. If I knew he was supposed to be here, I wanted to humiliate him even in the front death of our late Queen Elizabeth II. May peace be upon him, and may she rest in peace, our Queen. These people, they don't supposed to be in this kind of event. They always try and force themselves to go to this kind of event so that they can look for friends and buy them their mind with money. Our country can do better without this man. Our country now today is divided by ethnicity because of this man. Is putting the people of his ethnic in danger so that the day is not going to be there. We will be fighting with them. And those are our brother, they are our sister, they are our family. We don't need them. We don't need to fight with them. We need this man Sassou Nguesso to be arrested internationally. Mr. Bagbo was arrested for small crime did happen in his country by the French people. We saw them going to another country, arresting a president of that country in his presidential seat, in front of the whole world. But the French government now today are hiding this man, Denis Sassou Nguesso. But I did a video here in England. It just says I was stopped a little bit uh, by the Home Office for my freelancing. But days and days going, my heart is still burning because this is the job I did learn how to do. It's paining me. That's why I keep on coming sometimes to say something when my heart is burning. Mr. Bakubo, who was a president of Africost, the whole world did see it. The French government sent their soldier going into the presidential palace of Africost, arresting their president in function. But the crime that Mr. Bakbo did are nothing than what this man who is shaking his hand with this young leader, Emmanuel Macron. I did a video in, I think it should be end of 1990, end of 2000 and 2016 or 2017, where I was talking about this. The French would be chased out from many of their colony. I know Emmanuel Macron, you can hear, you can speak English very well, and there is so many French people that can speak English. I think you can translate this message to your government or to those French people that are watching and keep this again. I'm going to repeat again. It's not like it's me. No, I'm just a simple citizen of my country who did see the policy and politic of the French government in my continent and what you did from the independency or from the colony to the independency, you did left actually nothing comparing to what the British did into their colony. They have worked. When you go to India, you will see. When you go to South Africa, you will see. When you go to Zimbabwe, you will see. To Malawi, you will see what the British did. They left something that people can start as a country. But what the French government have left in the menu of their colony, so-called to them, country, is a politic of divide to rule, is what they have left. They have built nothing. They have left no company. How can we love you? We can't. We can't. And you are keep on putting leaders that are coming to loot our economy, to come and buy palace, a chateau in your country, while the population they are in anger. They don't have food, they don't have a road, they don't have water, they don't have electricity. What kind of a human heart do you have, your French government? You and those criminals, government of our country, you are the same because you open their door. You can do better business with us than destroying us to come and beg at your door. And when we come at your door, you said, no, we are becoming too much. You know, the population of Congo Brazzaville, they are not a lot. We are just 5 million people. With that 5 million population that we are, we got diamond, we got gold, we got cobalt, we got all petroleum, all we got it. Tanzanite, we got it. Manganese, we got it. We got gas, but you keep on destroying us. We can't be happy with you. I can't be proud speaking your language because you are kind of an enemy to me. You don't want to see my progress. We're seeking for the arrest of Mr. Paul Kagame. We are seeking for the arrest of Mr. Sassou Nguesso and Paul Biya. The immediate arrest to those people. They are criminals. They are economical criminal and they are killer of their population. These people need to be arrested internationally. And they have to free all the politicians, the opposition that they have arrested, they have to free them. And they must be free in good health. Shame on the leader of the world. Shame on you. All of you in the UN, shame on you. Me, as a citizen of the world, I'm saying, shame on you. You are destroying the peace in the world. Shame on you. Because you're busy greeting people who have blood of their citizen. Shame on you. Shame on you because you're greeting people who are destroying the economy of their country. Shame on you. This man, Sassou Nguesso, in his country, Congo Brazzaville, the hospital is not really functioning. There is no lift in the hospital. If somebody is in the critical condition, someone will put you in his back, lift you up to go to a level where you have to go. Sometimes there is no electricity in the whole hospital, no good sanitation. People in time of getting help of health in the hospital, actually they are there to die, even when the sickness was just a simple sickness. If you sleep there 3 nights, you will die. The hospital is becoming a mortuary for living people. But this guy, he owned 5 hospitals in 5 different African countries. The French people, they know about it. They know about it. He's also a chairman of another hospital in France. The French people, they know about it. But they know also in his own country, this man, no hospital is really working properly. Mr. Paul Kagame sent 2 helicopters in Congo Brazzaville in exchange of land. And Mr. Kagame is saying in his country they are in peace, okay? But we have so many Rwandans who came in my country as a refugee. But at the same time, we know those Rwandans are not a refugee, they are soldiers. So those 2 helicopters that he sent in Congo Brazzaville just recently is to secure the presidential seat of the son of Sassou Nguesso in the name of Christelle Sassou Nguesso, the one I was saying about he stole the money of the country because he's the one who's the chief petroleum of the country, his son. His daughter is the one who's in the delegation of his presidential. And interpreter look like his wife. They always travel as a family. In the presidential office of Congo Brazzaville, most of those people working with the president are his family and his children. No citizen know how much they spend a day. We don't know how much he earned, this man, and even his children. There is a lot of crime, economical crime going on in Congo Brazzaville. These people and their kid, they are stealing the money of the country and their family. Another one is here. He was chased in France. Actually, he was hunted in France. Is here. Dominique Okemba is here in the UK, in London. They know that is here. The police and the court of France are looking for this guy. He ran away here in London. He's here in the UK. One of them is here. Please, the European Union, help us to find peace in our country. But we need these people to be arrested who are committing the economical crime in our country. We have many of our students, some are in Cuba, some are in Russia, in France, in Turkey, in Senegal, in China, who be not getting their money, their bursary money from the government for 30 months. They have become, uh, how can I call it? They have become hobo in people's country, but the government sent them there to study. But at the same time, these people, they own a bank. And where did he get the money to open that bank? That is the question. Where did Mr. Sassou Nguesso get money that is owning 90% of the bank share? Where did he get it? Where did he find that money? Recently, there was a airplane that he used to travel with, who was in auction in France. They sold it because he owned one Israeli guy, billions. His name is Mr. Ojet. The French government, they know about it. That airplane of the president was sold in auction in France. Please help the people of Congo Brazzaville to find peace by arresting these men who have committed so many crimes, by slaughtering people, by killing so many opposition people, by committing the economical crime in our country, by taking our land to sell to the government of Rwanda. That Paul Kagame have to know that we will fight his people. You know that as this government is stealing the money of the country, is a corrupt government, just like yourself. And then you want to show us in Africa you are, a new colonizer. Mr. Paul Kagame, keep it in mind. The new generation who will come in the power of Congo Brazzaville will fight you. We will fight your country back and we will destroy your policy that you are coming with in Africa. And to the people of Rwanda, you have to know it. We don't have problem with you, but we have a problem with your government who's trying to come and kidnap our land. When things will change in our country, we will need to see all Rwandans who are doing farming in the illegal land in my country to put their hands off in our land. Because as the people of Congo Brazzaville, we don't recognize the power of the presidential seat of Sassou Nguesso. We did warn your president so many times not to do that move. But your president want to show in whole Africa how military he is. Lucky you at this time, as us, we are having people who don't know the value of their land. Lucky for you this time. But the matter will never end. Keep that in mind. Thank you for listening to our message. Asumba production will be again tomorrow online. But tomorrow I will be in Kikongo and Lingala for the people of my country to be awake. Those who want to do the revolutionary time, they should wake up so that we put these people who don't have the value of our country out of the seat. Thank you so much. Merci mes frères. Merci beaucoup. Message ezalaki mingi à propos ya ba leader international ya monde à ce que bayoka message na biso. Je remercie mon président Roland Lévy-Nitou na ba courage na ye, nzambe azala na ye toujours, apesa ye bokasi. Bazange ya bakoko na biso ya Congo batelemaka na ye bisika nyonso azalaka. Banguna ya Congo oyo batambolaka na Sassou Nguesso bakoka ye te na banzela na ye. Biso toza jeunesse oyo ekochange makambo na mboka na biso ya Congo. Po bana na biso ata biso tomoni lumière te, mais bana na biso bamona lumière ya mboka wana ya Congo. Merci bandeko na ngai. Bolandaka biso mingi surtout na Chanel ya président na biso Roland Lévy-Nitou. Batango bino bozalaka na baton, bokotaka pe na Chanel ya Basumba production, bolandaka pe biso na ba message oyo topesaka. Mais na message ya programme ya Basumba production ezalaka mingi basé na anglais parce que mon président fait presque tout en français et je peux dire son adjoint puisqu'il est toujours là. Mon frère Alain, hein? Mbotchenge parole. Courage kubika président V. Il faut bien que vanda toujours soudé. Hein? Si ame pes mongongo ngenge metano na mongongo yandi. C'est comme ça, Alain. Courage, mon frère. Sassou ne restera pas éternel comme leader au Congo. Et ses enfants, leur nom va périr. Hein? Net faso bana ya Mobutu. Bazimbana non, beti wadi ave bakumbe bao. Donc ya bao yage van kutu le pire. Hein? Ya bao ke van le pire. Donc ils sont zéro. Hein? Ba vie ya bao ke van de net mo pepe. Hein? Yake lutaka, ya me bunne na nzuti ya me luta. Hein? Donc Alain, courage. Et je remercie tous mes frères combattants de lutte, hein, des indignés de 242. Courage, Bolandaka toujours président. Il faut tous aller unis ensemble. Atanaba Oyo Baozate vraiment nakacha ba indigné du 242 na France. Mais tu vois, mes frères, Tozo Bunda Pona, Mboka na biso et mon lumière. Tozo Kota na 2023. Les frères et sœurs. Ozala moto à nord, sud, ouest, wapi ya Congo. Tozali biso nyonso bana ya Congo, tozali ba Congolais. Donc, nazo senga éveil patriotiste ya biso nyonso ya komona ndenge papa wana, hein, ya mokinza wana, oyo abima solo mabe, ndenge akumbi république na biso ekendeki na guerre, balisuba monsieur lisuba bakufi bakei, il est toujours là, le sanguinaire, hein, Donc, toujours, Makila, Congolais, toujours, Ezokoya. Mes frères, c'est jusqu'à quand? Hein? Attaque aux alaka fanatiste, moi, ndengenini. Tala ndenge ekolo ezokende. Tala avenir na yo kakate, mais tala pe avenir ya bana. Oh ya yo, baleki oh ya yo, baneve na yo, hein? Sima na yo. Deux fois, faut pas tout tala kaka biso moko. Tu vois, tango balobi citoyen ezali makambo monene, mes frères et sœurs. Oyo eza conseil mpona biso nyonso bacongolais. Tango balobi nazali congolais, citoyen congolais, attention na mwana eza makasi. Eza te kaka mpona passeport ou bien acte de naissance ou livret. Regardons un peu, même livret à Pamboyo congolais mpona kozwa yango ekoma boye. Passeport, les droits des citoyens. Hein? Bah, droit ya ba citoyen. Bon, si un Congolais n'a pas de livret, comment vous allez aller voter? Dites-moi un peu, mes frères et sœurs. Oza na passeport te, oza na livret te, oko voter ndenge nini? Wana quelle démocratie wana? Bon, mais je sais pas. Tozomema Congo wapi? Ba militaire ya Congo bozali wapi? Ba valeur, ba formation bokenaka. Sassou afutela yo ba cour ya gendarmerie te. Sassou afuta ba cour ya formation na yo te. C'est le Congo. D'abord, Sassou c'est un humain, il va mourir, mais le Congo ne va pas mourir. As un simple humain, Sassou là. Ndenge ka ba grand leader na biso lokola bangwabi, hein, Balabé Fulbert Youlou batika biso, lui aussi il va mourir. Hier ozala na espace te na livre histoire à Congo. Il n'a pas de valeur ce monsieur. Il n'a pas de valeur, monsieur Sassou, il n'a pas de valeur. C'est un sale papa. Il n'a pas de valeur, Sassou. Naza na buzitu te pona mutu wana. C'est un criminel économique, criminel de sang de mes frères congolais et sœurs. Il n'a pas de valeur, ce monsieur. Sassou eloko azotikela biso na Congo. Eza séparation. Na bandeko na biso. Ba oyo baza ba aveugle. Sassou banda azwa guerre wana ya lisubana. Bandeko nanga totanga. Ça fait combien d'années? Donc na Congo tozana ba leader mosusu te. Donc ba leader il faut ba uta kaka na libota oya ba Sassou. Bozobo yo Congolais à Brazzaville azui yango wapi? Nazotuna bandeko nanga ya nord na ya sud ya wapi ya la Bwenza wapi nazotuna. Bozobo yo tozui yango wapi to lokoti yango wapi? Famille wana balesi biso batufi na bango to masuba na bango to nini. Donc ba militaires oyo bien formés, des généraux, ba colonels, ba commandants, des bons sergents, des bons caporals ya Congo. Bokoma ba momi ya famille wana to nini. Donc yende nga sala coup d'état na mboka wana. Personne ne peut le contourner. Dites-moi qu'il est le seul bon militaire au Congo. Oya tambolaka lokola muela. Dites-moi. Parce que moi, je sais, au Congo, il y a des bons militaires, il y a de bons commandos. Hein? Lokola Baonga Pierre, je prie beaucoup, vraiment, puis à son âme, vraiment, le papa là, vraiment. Anga lekibino nyoso, bozaba zoba zoba. Naebi sabino vérité. Anga tiens, Anga c'était un militaire courageux, hein? Donc il connaît, c'est le Congo qui l'avait formé. On a lalisa ebele na zamba una avec sa fille. nani ayebi histoire wana te peut-être soki obotamaki lobi tomoni bibembe bazowuta na bafrontière ya bagabo wana. Mais c'est là où Omar Bongo azwaki Edith, qui ne sait pas l'histoire là, hein, pour rattraper Onga. Ceux qui ba militaire à Gabon ba kota qui te ba bon cercle là qui ont gâté personne. Bon la biso que na kati ya armée ya Congo wana on a encore des Onga. C'est pas facile hein. Bon là ta ba uniforme zo bimanet yo rambo na film. Montrez-nous que vous pouvez finir ce monsieur. Au lieu de kama mangungu na banzela na ba uniforme brutaliser la population pour rien. Hein? Le gars est là en train de voler l'argent avec ses enfants. Hein? Vous êtes là en train de brutaliser la population. Batobala late. Hein? Bo laksa biso ke bokoki ko lalisa tata wana ya muyibi wana ya république. Hein? Na mona na défilé mutu moko boy atelemi lokola yebu nyati makolo. Vous êtes des fanfarons. Laissez-nous tout ça là. Botika. Boko sate. Hein? On a ça soit en train de voler l'argent du pays. Tu me parles que tu es un militaire. Militaire d'où? Hein? Que Robunda n'a pas valeur à Congo. Mais il est là, le voleur, il a arrêté-le. Montrez-nous que vous êtes des vrais soldats au Congo. Il y a des militaires. Arrêtez Sassou. Hein? Azaka Yemoroti. Na faux colonel wana ba généraux wana ba bunda jamais guerre wana. Soki masasi bandi ba ko na ambeto. Hein? Baninja moto na ba cobra ba pesi bango pouvoir. Hein? Aujourd'hui là ils ont oublié tous ces jeunes là. Bazo si ça ba jeune wana mike po ba yebi. Ba utiliser ki bana batu. Hein? Kaka ba jeune wana kaka soki bo regrouper kaka. Et au ça la biso vrai. To vote jeune oyo akoleka tata wana. Nous on va le voter. Tu kopé sur ata demanda na mboka wana. Tozo ebisa yo eza vérité na lobby. Congolais oyo akoleka Sassou ou akokanga ye. Toyoki kaka Sassou akangami. Nani akangaki ye o intel moto azalaki chef. Toko vote yo. Mais ezala libota na yete. Biso wana diaspora. Toko vote yo, toko pesa yo pouvoir ata monda moko poto bongisa solution mboka. Toko pesa yo monda wana toko kotsa yo na buku ya histoire ya mboka. C'est ça. Bon lakisa biso on a des soldats. Bravo oyo akokanga Sassou. Toko vote yo. Toko vote yo na ko ozala otanga te okena classe te. Non on va te voter. Okotikala na histoire ya mboka wana. Vraiment bandeko na ngai nadingi bino mingi butu malamu. Banzambe ya Congo bazala na biso babomba biso elongo basangisa biso elongo lokola tozalaka uni kala tobosa na bapase wana. Mais bafiti ya Congo il faut bakangama. Na pesi bino mbote balibota nyonso bisika nyonso bozali na Mfondo na Yewo na Oyo wapi na Uweso na la cuvette kuna nyonso na pesi bambote na la Bwenza kuna na pesi bambote Musenjo hein Dolizi tout ça là hein Makabana nazopesa mbote hein nazopesa mbote tena bana ponton kuna nazopesa ka mbote nazopesa mbote tena Kibosi kuna Lusebi. Donc na madia tout ça là nazopesa kaka mbote hein na Kibwende nazopesa bambote ebele koto hein na wapi na Weso bambote bele bandeko na ngana lingi bino mingi kimia ezala na kati ya république na biso. Nzambe asalisa biso le Congo ezala uni à jamais. Mambote na bino nyonso. Merci. Ingeta, Cardinal Emile Bienda, Santo Subito. Cardinal Emile Bienda, Santo Subito. Merci. Butu malamu na bino nyonso bandeko na ngai. Ingeta. Bonne soirée. Merci.